Audio or video footage used in this video is owned entirely by the copyright holders. Horrific FX makes no claim of ownership and is simply using the footage for purposes of education, commentary, and criticism under fair use. Hello and welcome to a brand new edition of Horrific FX's Top 13 Countdown videos. In this series of Top 13 Countdowns, this video we will be doing our Top 13 American Horror Story characters. Now, as I usually do on these countdowns, this is my own personal list, so it may differ from your own list of top characters. And as always, as we always do with these videos, there will be spoilers. So if you have not seen any of these seasons or know any of these characters, you might want to just skip ahead through this video. But on this countdown, we will be reviewing and talking about my personal list of top 13 American Horror Story characters. Now, by the time this video is released, it is 2019. They have completed seasons all the way up to Apocalypse, so depending when you're watching this video, there might be other characters from future seasons that aren't on this list. Obviously can't review those yet, but this is a list of every characters from seasons Murder House all the way through to Apocalypse. So with that being said, let's get on with the countdown. Start with number 13. Number 13, Kai Anderson, Cult. Now, Cult was a very, let's say, unpopular addition to the American Horror Story universe. A lot of people did not really enjoy it. I found it to be quite enjoyable. I thought it was a nice break from the supernatural storylines, and I thought Cult gave some realism to the series. But that being said, again, not many people enjoyed Cult. But even those who were not impressed with Cult, I think you would all have to agree, Evan Peters delivered an outstanding performance in his portrayal of Kai Anderson. And not just Kai Anderson, but famous cult leaders throughout history that he had to play in that season. From Jonestown to David Koresh and so on and so forth. But his portrayal of Kai was so sinister and dark, and it seemed to really resonate. And I thought Evan Peters did a terrific job with that character and the depths that he had to go to play such a psychotic character. And I think that without his portrayal of Kai, that season really would have faltered more than what, according to some people, it did. And the saving grace of that season definitely was Evan Peters as Kai Anderson. Number 12, Cordelia Fox, Coven. Now, obviously, she played Cordelia Fox in Coven and in Apocalypse, but this was probably my most enjoyable of the Sarah Paulson characters. I like Sarah Paulson as an actress. I'm just not really impressed with her characters. I know there's a lot of people who love characters such as Billy Dean and Lana Winters, but most of her characters don't really resonate to me. I do like Hypodermic Sally from Hotel, but Cordelia is a character I really do enjoy. And what can you say? I mean, she's the supreme. She rose from the blindness to being the supreme, and some great powers and a love for her students at the school, and some great use of powers, especially in Apocalypse, to fight Michael. And I think she really was a good glue to hold everyone together, especially in Coven season. Number 11, Liz Taylor, Hotel. Now, this was a character that, in a season that was filled with lots of good characters, um, a lot of great characters, actually. Liz Taylor was one that just really shined. And Liz Taylor was played terrifically by Dennis O'Hare. When I went into the season, I really wasn't expecting much from this character, and really grew to love Liz. Again, Dennis O'Hare did a terrific job on his portrayal of Liz, and in a gloomy setting as the Hotel Cortez, with such dark, disturbed characters, a character like Liz to outshine a lot of them really is something, and a testament to Dennis's acting that he has done in the different seasons and in the show. And you really, especially the last episode when Liz's story arc it comes complete, you really feel for Liz, and again, just a great testament to the acting job of Dennis O'Hare. Number 10, Dr. Oliver Thredson, Asylum. And this is a character played terrifically by Zachary Quinto. And this is a character that really, to me, stands out in Asylum. Just when you see this season, you start to like him because he's listening to all the other characters in the asylum, and you feel he's going to be the voice of reason. And then as the season goes on, then you start to realize, spoiler alert, that he in fact is Bloody Face. And when he does that turn to Bloody Face, wow. I mean, he did a great job playing the straight-laced, good Dr. Thredson. But then when he does the role reverse to Dr. Thredson's Bloody Face character, wow, is it a terrific acting job, because you really buy him as the good guy, and then when he turns bad, you really buy him as the evil Bloody Face. And a terrific job he did playing that character. It was so menacing and dark, and the look of Bloody Face was just so terrific. So you could put Bloody Face or Dr. Thredson in there, but I just combined them. But definitely have Dr. Thredson as number 10 on this list. Number 9, The Butcher, Roanoke. Now, not many characters I decided to put on this list from Roanoke. Actually, I believe this is the only one I do have from Roanoke. But this is the character that really stood out to me. And obviously with the Roanoke storyline, how it was the first half of Roanoke was fictional, and then the reality based for the second half. There were the two different actresses playing the Butcher, but for the most part, when you think of the Butcher, you think of Kathy Bates and the terrific job she did. From that accent she played, almost like a Baltimore, Maryland accent, I believe, or a North Carolina accent, with the Roanoke location there. From the accent there to just the mannerism she had, the brutalness she used in her killings, and, lack of a better term, the butchery she used in Roanoke. It really made for an outstanding character. Didn't speak a whole lot, had a few lines, but just her mannerisms, her voice, her accent, just again, her darkness as the Butcher. Didn't make jokes, didn't want to do wisecracks, was straightforward. I'm going to hack you up, and did a great job. And even Kathy Bates' portrayal as the actress for the second half of the season was good. but the Butcher was just a character that really stood out from Roanoke. Number 8, Dandy Mott, Freak Show. Now, this was a season that I really was interested in. I love freak shows and the carnival circus themes, especially mixed into the dark storylines. And in a season that I was really hoping for a lot with the freak characters, and you have Twisty that comes out of there. Dandy just outshined so many of them. And again, in a season that was based on the freaks, Dandy was the one that a lot of people talk about. And what a terrific acting job by Finn Wittrock playing Dandy, the spoiled adult who acts like a kid. He doesn't get what he wants, and the spoiled nature of him makes for such a great character, a character you just want to see get his in the end. And again, spoiler, when he gets his, you're just excited to see it. But again, the whole season leading up to that, you just enjoy the ride of what he can do. And Ryan Murphy, I thought, knocked it out of the park with this character. Not only the writing of the character, but again, the acting was terrific. A great character. And early in the season when we lost Twisty, I was like, wow, to lose such a good character as Twisty. But Dandy picked it up beautifully and really became the main antagonist in Freak Show. Number 7, Fiona Good, Coven. Now, in Coven, we saw very many evil characters. Madame Laurie, the Voodoo Queens, the Papa Legba, Cordelia's husband, and so on and so forth. But Fiona Good was the most evil, in my opinion, in that season, and played perfectly by Jessica Lange. Just a character you really wanted to see get hers. How she was willing to do anything to achieve immortality and live forever, from making deals with Papa Legba to working with the Voodoo to doing anything, even killing her people, her own witches from her own school. Just a terrific character, and one I definitely love of Jessica Lange's. In fact, I think this is my favorite character of hers in American Horror Story, which says a lot because she's played some terrific characters. And you just went on a great story arc of her character throughout Coven, especially her relationship with her daughter, down to the treachery she used against Myrtle Snow. So definitely have Fiona Good as number 7 on this list. Number 6, Twisty the Clown, Freak Show. Now, we talked a little bit about Freak Show when we explained when we talked about Dandy Mott, but when you talk about American Horror Story Freak Show, you can't talk about anyone but Twisty at first. Twisty was such an iconic character for that season, and he was used sparingly in in Cult, excuse me. But it was more flashbacks and visions, and not necessarily really happening where it was with Freak Show. And just such a great character from someone who was so determined to kill people, down to the sympathy nature of his character when he had his episode before he died, when he explained his backstory, and you felt for him. And then again, you just go back and watch episodes and you just realize how someone so sympathetic was so crime driven and just brutal in his acts, and just such an iconic character, from the dirty clown costume to the tusks of hair on the scalped skin he was wearing on his head to the face mask covering his real mask after he had shot himself, or his real face after he had shot himself. Just such an iconic looking character. Number 5, Sister Mary Eunice, Asylum. Now, my daughter, who loves American Horror Story also, she and I always talk about favorite characters from seasons, and she and I always get into a little bit of an argument with this one. I love Sister Mary Eunice in Asylum, played terrifically by Lily Rabe. To me, I thought she stole the show in Asylum. Again, we mentioned Dr. Thredson earlier, and again, so many great characters in Asylum. But I thought Sister Mary Eunice really stole the show. She was a good character to begin with, but then when she became possessed by the demon partway through the season, it just really took her character up to a tremendous level. And she played with such a darkness, but subtle darkness. And when her darkness was on, it was on, and she played a terrific character in such a dark and twisted season as Asylum was. Number 4, The Countess, Hotel. Now, everyone has to know about the Countess, portrayed terrifically by Lady Gaga. And I even have to admit, when it was announced that she was playing in Hotel, I had my reservations, but she really won me over, and definitely sold me as a terrific actress, and played such a great character. The Countess was just such a good, well-written character, and really was the heart and soul of that season. When you talk about Hotel, yeah, you first think of the Countess, and down to her outfits, the terrific music that accompanied her when she was on the screen, the finger claws that she always wore, and just such a terrific character. So many memorable scenes from that season. And again, a terrific job by Ryan Murphy creating such a character, and Lady Gaga knocking out of the park with her portrayal of the Countess. Number 3, Tate Langdon, Murder House. Now, this is a lot of people's top character from Evan Peters, and rightfully so. Tate was a terrific character from Murder House, and definitely someone like me who, when I was growing up and in school, the Columbine incident was a huge part of me. I've always been fascinated with real life crimes, and I researched a lot of Columbine since I was a teenager when it happened. And a lot of Tate's character reminds me of the shooters of Columbine, and down to the shooting scene in the school, how reminiscent it was of what actually happened in Columbine. But Tate was just such a terrific, dark character. And it really hit home because, again, this kind of thing unfortunately happens in society today. But Tate was just from such a dark character to his love for Violet, and how that story arc played out through the season, even into Apocalypse, when they finally got their characters resolved and had their happily ever after moment. And just, again, true love Tate shows for Violet, especially for such a dark and twisted character as Tate is and turned out to be, as he was, of course, the Rubber Man in Murder House. Number 2, Michael Langdon, Apocalypse. And this was another character that I really didn't have high expectations for. Kind of like the Countess, and then when I watched, was blown away by the performance of Lady Gaga with Michael Langdon. I was blown away by Cody Fern's performance. Did such a terrific job and really seemed to fit into the American Horror Story storyline, especially being the son of Tate somewhat, and fitting into how Murder House wrapped up to Apocalypse now, to how that storyline went in playing Michael in different ages and times was a terrific job by Cody Fern. And I really liked the look of Michael Langdon from when he was a teenager to how he looked like Tate and so forth, to as he got older and the longer hair and just looked like he was from hell and was the spawn of Satan, to the subtle discoloration around the eyes, and again the just looking kind of royal and regal with the wardrobe and the long flowing hair, and his arrogance as he evolved as a character just really knocked it out of the park, and I thought was a very good performance and a very good character, as was seen in Apocalypse. Number 1, James Patrick March, Hotel. Now, whenever I talk about American Horror Story characters, this is a character I feel very much does not get his due. I think I've only seen one list that had him as a top 10 character, and that was they even had him at number 1. I just love this character. Evan Peters did a great job in his portrayal. He reminded me very much so of Vincent Price, from the accent, the one-liners he would quote, the little mustache, the cheesy Playboy robe, and his just the aura around him just seemed very Vincent Price-ish, and such a dark character that you wouldn't think when you see him, you didn't think he would be that evil. But boy, I mean, building the hotel basically to just kill people there and have bodies buried in the walls and to execute them and throw them down the cellar, and just such a great character with so many memorable moments and lines. And I was excited to see him very briefly, but excited to see him in Apocalypse also. So that was a nice treat. I just definitely love James Patrick March. Just such a great, fun character. Really made Hotel such a great season for me. Like I said, there's so many great characters with Liz Taylor and Hypodermic Sally and the Ten Commandments killer and the Countess. And through them all, to me, James Patrick March really stole the show and was such a great character. All right, that will wrap up this top 13 countdown, as we did our top 13 American Horror Story characters from Murder House all the way through till Apocalypse. Now, again, I'm sure my list will differ than yours and many others, but I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did enjoy it, please feel free to subscribe. We have many other top 13 countdown videos you can check out, and even some quick product videos, as I am a special effects makeup artist and make several props and prosthetics and so forth. So please feel free to check them out, and also check out my website at horrificfx.com. And check Horrific FX out on all social media. Just, again, search for Horrific FX. There are links on below and on my website. So definitely feel free to check those out. And we'll see you next time. And thank you very much for tuning in.